So we saw, with using both eyes and a white background, Rudy was able to use both eyes. We saw that on a black background, which makes the both the red and the green objects had a semi-transparency, and that explains why they were both darker, lower contrast against the black background. He wasn't able to see the green dot. His eye was being suppressed, except when he voluntarily closed his good eye, then he could see the green dot because the suppression was lifted. He was only using monocular vision. That explains why the test that we wrote to find the limit of the amblyopic eye's contrast strength failed, because we said close your good eye and just use your bad eye, and it worked fine. So what we want to do, what's more interesting in Rudy's case, is to find what is the threshold at which, when using both eyes, the brain starts suppressing the amblyopic eye. Because that would mean that we can focus through calibration in all the games that follow. We can focus at that point to try to push that point. Yeah, we try to work just the right side of that contrast level, so that he's, constantly being pushed to get better at dealing with low contrast. The thing is, we need to make it obvious. We want to find the moment. So, as Ned just pointed out, it'd be better to turn it round and say, when does it become visible? So it should start off being invisible, and we actually up the contrast until the moment at which it becomes visible, because then we can detect the threshold more accurately. If we're trying to have, people of God knows where, and it suddenly disappeared, there'll be a period where, oh, where's it all gone? Did they read the instructions properly? Do they then cheat? Do they close their eye? That's the better way around. So, we increase contrast until the moment it's visible. We just make it simple diagnostic. So we have a red dot and a green dot, and we increase the contrast, and then when it's visible, when the dot in the amblyopic eye is visible, they press a button. Fine. Well, how could we do that? It seems to me that there's two obvious ways. We either work with the contrast of the objects relative to the background, so we move from a black background to a white background, and we make the object semi-transparent, or we just work with the object luminance. So we could, for example, have a white background, and we start off with dark green and dark red, or in that case, if it's a black background, dark green, dark red. If it's a white background, light green, light red. And we simply move away from the background colour. I don't know if there's a difference. We should try it, and if anyone can explain if there is a difference and what that difference might be, we'd love to hear it.